Can you run a quick training to fix this? If I had $1 for every time I've heard that, I'd probably have my own L&D themed yacht by now. Hi, I'm Irina, a learning and development consultant and founder of the L&D Academy. And for nearly 15 years, I've been helping organizations go beyond one-and-done workshops to build learning that actually sticks. In today's video, I'm going to show you a better approach, one that transforms scattered training events into meaningful, structured learning experiences. We're talking about learning journeys, what they are, why they matter, and how you can start designing them right away. Let's dive in. What is a learning journey? Simply put, it's a structured series of learning experiences spaced over time that helps people build real skills and apply them back on the job. Let's say that you're trying to learn how to run effective meetings. Now, your journey might begin with a short checklist or video on meeting planning basics, followed by a short live session on facilitation techniques. Then, you're tasked with applying those tips in your next team meeting and capturing what worked well. A few days later, you get a reminder with a quick tip or a template to improve meeting agendas. And finally, you share lessons learned with a small peer group or on a company forum. Learning journeys are about small steps that build a big impact. How to create learning journeys? There isn't a single definitive formula or model that you need to follow, but there are some milestones that you need to hit. For starters, you need to understand the problem you're trying to solve. A good learning needs analysis can be crucial here. That means assessing the existing knowledge. You don't want to be teaching basic meeting techniques to someone who's been running successful meetings for years. The outcome of this should be a clear list of knowledge and skill gaps that you need to fill with different learning methods, and we'll talk more about these in a minute. Ultimately, you want to have clear goals and objectives that help solve a specific challenge. It's not enough to say learners should know how to lead a meeting. A much better goal is meetings often go off track and end without clear action points, so learners need to be able to structure meetings that stay focused and result in clear decisions and next steps. Your learning journey also needs to have a gradation. That means they need to learn the basics before moving on to more complex topics. For example, if you're designing a journey on giving feedback, you might start with the fundamentals, what feedback is and why it matters. Next, you introduce simple models, let's say the SBI, situation, behavior, impact. Once that's clear, you move on to trickier situations like navigating emotional reactions or giving constructive feedback to a defensive team member. Each stage builds on the last, so learners gain both confidence and competence as they go. Each of these steps will need to have an appropriate learning delivery method. Again, there isn't a strict rule on how you select the right one. You just need to consider what might work best for your audience and their context. If you're working with retail staff, is it feasible to get them out of the store for a full day training? Probably not. So you need to work around that. For example, you might start with a short mobile-friendly video that they can watch during a break, followed by a quick stand-up briefing led by their store manager, then a job aid that they can use on the shop floor, and finally, a peer check-in at the end of the week to reflect on what they tried and what worked. Again, this is just an example. What will work for you may not work for someone else. In choosing the right delivery method, you need to make sure that learners have the opportunity to hit some key milestones. These milestones represent the natural flow of how people learn. The first milestone is Orient. This is where learners figure out where they are and why this journey even matters. Before diving into content, they need context. What's the point of this learning? How does it connect to their role or their goals? This could be a short self-assessment, a welcome video from a leader, or even a quick team briefing that sets the stage. Next, they need to absorb. This is where they get exposed to the new stuff. The models, the frameworks, the theory. You're not aiming for mastery yet, just building understanding. This might happen through short e-learning modules, formal training sessions, video explainers, or a podcast they can listen to on their commute. The key here is clarity and relevance, not information overload. Then comes practice. And this is where real learning starts to stick. Learners need a safe space to try things out before they're expected to perform in the real world. That might be a role play, a simulation, a practice task, or even a chatbot that lets them rehearse tricky conversations. This is where confidence starts to grow. After that, learners need time to reflect, because without reflection, all you've done is keep them busy. This is their chance to pause and think. What worked? What didn't? What would I do differently next time? You can prompt this through guided questions, self-check tools, or even a quick debrief conversation with a peer or a manager. Now, if you only stick to these 4, you would be well off. But if you want to take it to the next level, you might also want to create space for socializing, because learning deepens when it is shared. When people discuss what they've tried, what they're struggling with, or what surprised them, it becomes real. This might be a learning circle, a team discussion, or a quick post in an online community space. Another milestone that you can hit to elevate your learning journey design is to sustain the learning. The journey doesn't end when the training does. Learners need small nudges to keep applying what they've learned, like a reminder email, a quick refresher challenge, or a manager check-in, because habits take time. And just because you've built it doesn't mean that they will come. You need to find ways to market the journey. I really like the AIDA model that we can borrow from marketing here. It stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. First, you grab learners' attention, maybe with a bold visual or a short teaser video from a senior leader. Then you spark interest by sharing how the journey connects to something they care about, like career growth or solving a real pain point. Desire comes when they see the personal value, like learning how to lead more confidently or save time in their daily work. And finally, you prompt action with a clear call to sign up or join the first step. Learning journeys are not about adding more content or stretching training over more days. They're about designing smarter, more intentional experiences that follow how people actually learn. When you hit key milestones like orienting your learners, helping them absorb knowledge, giving them space to practice, and encouraging reflection, you're not just checking boxes, you're building capability. And if you go one step further to create social moments and sustain the learning over time, you've got something that truly transforms behavior. It does take more planning upfront, but the payoff is that you get learners who are engaged, apply, and grow. And also organizations that see real results. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button or leave a comment below with your own experience designing learning journeys. I would love to hear from you. See you in the next video.